the stress and the money has been a big fear for me. Another fear is that I got pneumonia 4 years ago from just a common cold. So to know that, because I'm asthmatic and that I have had pneumonia before, and this is pretty much the same sort of business, that if I did come into contact or made the wrong decision at some point, that I could die from it.
And I think what's really weird is how quickly it's sort of just become normal. I don't know, it's quite strange how as humans we get accustomed to things quite quickly if you're in a routine. Even if you don't enjoy it, you just accept it, I guess.
Yeah, it's not been too bad. At first I was quite nervous. I've got two young kids. My father-in-law, who's had a couple of stents fitted in his heart, so I was a bit worried about how that would affect him and everything.
I've got a cousin in Spain who's obviously locked in her house, and she's dealing with it at the moment. I've spoken to her on FaceTime, but she's just, the state of her, she's such a healthy, she's a 26-year-old woman who's very healthy, very fit, and she just looks like she's dying.
This is a real fitness, is something that is...
Yeah, because it's quite easy to take lightly, because Boris Johnson isn't really
the strongest
person to be telling us what's going on, and since what's happened, we're just like, what can we do? What can't we do?
And there's not really a solid plan.
Obviously places like this are busier, but also people don't seem to be doing quite as well as keeping their distance as they were before.
It's quite worrying, because I think even when this sort of calms down a little bit, people are very anxious to get close to people. I know that 2 metres away, I've walked past people on the streets, people would jump in the road to avoid you. Up by the back of the station, the lady was walking up the stairs. I was up one side, she was up the other, but she was so scared that she stopped, turned her back to me and leant over the banisters.
Yeah, I think the police presence as well. When we first started coming out, and we were literally sat near no one, and they come and they walked directly to us. We could see them walking for about 5 minutes towards us, just to come and tell us that we shouldn't be outside.
We were just sitting there drawing.
Yeah, and we were just sat on our own drawing.
What I've found is now I haven't really got a separation of home and work anymore. You're all just in that same space all the time, so you don't have that time to decompress after work and wind down. So I feel like my routine is just entirely dictated by my son's schooling and my work, and then basically there's no time for anything else.
I think the quite funny thing is, even though we don't have uni, which I think might be a misconception of the public, is that even though we don't have uni, we still do have uni, you know. Yes, technically I can now do my lectures at a more appropriate time for me, which may be 1 a.m. in the morning for some weird, bizarre reason, and I'm going to do so. But I'm still doing coursework, I'm still doing exams, I'm still, you know...
You're still studying?
Yeah, I'm still studying.
So studying has been quite difficult for me personally, because I was going to film a sustainability fashion campaign for Depop, which was outside, and I picked my model, I had my stylist, and I'd had places around Brighton that I was going to do my shoot with. So they promised me about £3,000 worth of filming equipment, and when they announced the COVID-19 situation that the university was closed, I was told to film it on my phone in my room.
Having that extra time with the kids, I've realised, you know, they've each got their own little traits and personalities, which I might have not seen, because by the time I get home from work, get home, eat, wash, do a little bit of reading with them, and that's pretty much my interaction with them, which is actually quite sad. So it's I think after all this is over, I've got to make a more conscious effort to spend more time with them.
I'm not sure. I think there's been some really positive stuff, because he wouldn't have voluntarily gone for walks previously. But it is really difficult trying to pretend to be a teacher when you're really not one. You really appreciate what a hard job it is.
We've got so much time free now. I've met so many people over there just having like little workouts. Another young family just came over. He's got gymnastic rings as well. A few personal trainers have come over. It's nice. You see people got similar interests that in a gym setting you wouldn't normally talk to somebody. You've got your headphones in or whatever, you keep yourself to yourself. So hopefully now people will make a bit more of an effort.
The prospect of him possibly not going back to school until September is one I can't really bear to think about, to be honest.
I think anyone who's working during this time is going to find it weird, because you have to be a bit more patient with people, and it's not like, you know, it's not their fault really. I think we've had a few not very easy customers, but at the same time you have a lot of people who are still following the rules.
Could I just ask you about the book you're reading?
I saw this on someone's wall as a, you know, something to take, and I thought, oh, I'd seen that in the bookshop. I quite fancy that, and it feels like it's an absolutely incredible book. It really helps you to understand what an amazing job nurses do. They're so underappreciated, but especially now when we're really celebrating the sacrifices our health staff are making, it's just brings it home. I think I'd recommend it to anyone.
I'm talking to a lot more strangers when I go out, like
Yeah,
from
that's
further
true.
away, but I've met some cool people, I've met some artists who take photos and stuff like that, and because I want to do what I want to do.
And I've been trying to get into graffiti as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Met them dons the other day, they were graffitiing.
Yeah, like on the legal bit in Marina. Yeah, it's nice. It's been a nice time to be separated from people a little bit, but I do kind of want it to go back to whatever normality is at the end, whatever that is. I'm not too sure what that will be. Remember when there was that really bad storm that happened?
In February.
I got stuck in Berlin for